Clara, elle a fait du droit pour faire plaisir à papa. Et moi, j'ai fait médecine. Et du côté des malades.
Elle a l'air bien joyeuse pour quelqu'un qui vient de perdre sa maman.
Chez moi, c'est à l'intérieur que ça se passe.
I met the director through my friend named Pierre, who was friends with her, Fabienne Berthaud, and she introduced Fabienne and I, and we started chatting, and next thing you know, we were talking about getting together and me working on the music. She liked what I did initially, and then I got the job to do the music. She pretty much just reacts to, I'll do a piece of music for a scene, and then she'll react, and if she has something to say, she'll just say, no, I don't like that. And I do something else. She doesn't get very specific. She hears something she doesn't like, she says, I don't like that. And it doesn't mean changing 2 or 3 little things in it. It means like do something else.
Yeah,
you know?
completely.
Which is like, I like that approach. So then if she likes it, it's done.
Yeah.
She doesn't get in. She doesn't really get in and go, I like this, but there's that little part I don't like. She either likes it or doesn't. She just lets it go, the piece of music, which is great. There was no temp track. The only temp tracks there were songs there was no score temp track. There was a couple of songs that were temped in, which Scott replaced.
The emotion of the temp track and Michael with the direction, you know, that he was going for within the film, that she was pushing for what she wanted in that sense. Yeah, Mike, he brought me in, and you know, like one of them, you know, was a rock track, and that's where Bomber Kid came from. Yeah, it was an original track that I did, but just part Michael Stevens.
I actually read the script, and I had some ideas, but I've never seen Fabienne's previous work. She did a movie called Frankie, which I hadn't seen. And I kind of didn't want to see it on purpose, because then I would have stylized too much to I don't know, impress her or try to get the job, or however you describe trying to sell yourself. You know? So I laid that aside, and I read the script, and didn't do any music till I could see some images of the picture. So when I met Fabienne, I went down to her editing suite, and I brought my guitar and a keyboard, and she played me a scene. I said, play me a scene where you know you want music. She played the scene with the girl riding the bicycle in the countryside, and I just picked a guitar and I played a piece to it. And she loved that piece and told me the next day I could have the job. So I did it very inspired by the picture, rather than the just reading the script. The piano is more or less used in a kind of lullaby type of thing for the conservative sister played by Diane. In Ludovine, I have some little things like kalimbas and fun little instruments that go well with nature and the picture, and there's definitely 2 distinct styles with the 2 sisters. That's the main, I guess the main thing of the score is.
And the guitar.
And the guitar,
of course.
Of course, my instrument. It's like when you write a song, Scott, sometimes you start with words, sometimes you start with a riff. It's like doing an interview. You never know what you're going to say. Stuff just comes out. Sometimes you regret it. Sometimes you don't. Where you allow the drama to come through without something in the way. I've always felt if you really notice the music, it's bad. It's bad. So in a way, there's a subtlety, I guess, where everybody agrees that the music isn't stepping on the dialogue, the picture, the scene, the emotion. And usually that happens, like I say, by several people all reacting the same way. Sometimes you have one person in the group that doesn't like it and says it's too much, so take it down. The general rule, I think, is that you stay out of the way of the drama. And let the drama be the drama, and the music be supportive. Another supporting role in the film is the music. You're going to be influenced by your director a lot of the time, you know. The last thing I did, Clint's stuff, he always likes stuff that, he likes piano-based stuff and sort of single note stuff. He likes it very stripped down and minimalist, and my music will just kind of support what the director wants, that they feel works for the movie. So I'd like to do some really crazy stuff too, that involves, you know, lots of chord changes and crazy instruments and noisy stuff. Kyle's been real busy with his band. He's been on the road doing a lot of touring. You never expect successful it is, and he's doing great. So that's taken him on the road most of the time. But I'm still locked in the studio in one town.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to do lots of different things in the same place. Whereas when you're touring music, you're doing the same thing in lots of different places.
Of different places, yeah.
I'm gonna explore Paris.
It's cool to have the dedication though, like as I see like with Kyle as well. Like, I mean, such a dedicated artist. Like, you know, it put a smile on my face seeing him, you know, doing his warm-ups and his like. I was like, that's what it is, right? You know, it's dedication.
Yeah. Sticking with it. Stick with your guns, man.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
I met Hans. I started working for him in 1990. Kind of midway through the movie Thelma and Louise. So that's probably 5 years before. That's about 5 years before The Rock. And Toys was 92. But yeah, I met Hans Zimmer through a friend and my childhood school friend who was working with Hans, and he didn't sleep for 2 years because Hans is a workaholic. And the guy said to me, "Look, I haven't slept for 2 years, and I think you'd get along with Hans." And he hooked me up with the job with Hans. I like Hans gets a big sound. He's an incredible producer as well. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll work on a score. I look forward to using. You know, you need the right film to use electric guitar or acoustic guitar. So Hans has been lucky. He has such an array of films. He's done so many that he gets to explore basically the whole gamut of all the instruments. You know.
If you think about a movie, an American movie, about Fabienne Berthaud's movie, what the movie you choose?
I would think Thelma and Louise. Yeah. Two girls that are on the road running away from reality, and maybe what would another one be?
Another one for me, it would be Big Fish, actually.
Big Fish.
Yeah, like the aspect of the father and the son, you know, and the father telling these stories. You know, it creates an imaginary illusion for the persuasion of another one to come into their reality.
I like Jerry Goldsmith. Yeah, I just think he was the master. His use of the orchestra, his themes, his use of instruments, and with the... I don't know if you ever saw the movie The Edge, where the guy's being chased by the bear.
No, I haven't.
Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins. That's Jerry Goldsmith's score, and it's amazing. The way he uses the brass, and it's like an animal. It's a force, the way he uses the orchestra.
And you know French, Alexandre Desplat is a jury?
Yes, I think he's great. I worked with him in '94 on a movie called Halcyon Days. And it was probably one of his early scores where he was able to use orchestra. Because he was going to Germany to do the orchestra. We recorded the orchestra in Munich. That's where I met Alexandre. And he's done great. He's a very talented guy. He's one of those guys that can pretty much write, compose, conduct, and go out and control the orchestra himself as a composer, which was Jerry Goldsmith.